Hello lovelies, my name is Rachel and today I am doing a thrift haul. Yay! I love clothing so much, so I thought it'd be really fun to do one of these things. If you're new to this channel, my username here is Rachel Tail. I am a classical singer and former Irish dancer. The types of videos I do are song covers, makeup, clothes, fashion, dancing, that sort of thing. So if you like what you see, please stick around and subscribe. Okay, so I rarely ever buy clothes new from the store. The majority of clothing I would say I have is thrifted clothing that I have bought in the past 3 or 4 years, and the rest of the clothing are clothes that I bought when I was younger, maybe like 14 or 15, but still fit me and that I do wear. I should probably do a closet purge soon, but I honestly do still wear a lot of the clothes, even though some of it doesn't really fit my style as much anymore. Today I thought I would show you some of the thrifted items that I have, since I recently went thrift shopping with my mom last Saturday, and I also have some items that I have attained in the past few months or so that I thought I would share, because, you know, clothes, they're fun. So I'm going to start with some of the older items that I have, and I'm also including items that were given to me by friends or family, because I still count them as secondhand even though they were not thrifted from an actual thrift store. So for the first item, I'm starting off with this beautiful collared shirt. It just has this really gorgeous detail on the collar. I love button-ups. I wear them. They're definitely a staple piece. You can wear them on their own tucked into pants or a skirt, or oftentimes you can layer them underneath a dress. And I think this one just has such a unique design piece to it. It's so cute. I love Baroque designs. They make me think of that period in history, and I love fashion that has historical influences. So I think that that is really cool. This is also direct vintage from the 80s because it was actually my mother's, and she gave it to me after I recently found an old closet in our house that had a lot of her clothes from when she was in her 20s. And so it's got, you know, the puffy sleeves of, not quite as puffy as it was during the height of the 80s, but when it was still kind of a little bit puffy towards like the early 90s, late 80s. So that's really nice. Another older item that you may have seen if you have watched my Polar Opposites lookbook is this nice green blouse that I have. When I bought this shirt, I thought it was really unique because I didn't actually own any clothing in this color, this sort of bright pale green. Is that an oxymoron to say something that is both bright and pale? I guess the word would be pastel. That would be the right way to describe something like this. But it's got this nice ruffled collar and a tie here, which of course I love that detail. The neckline is actually rather low for something that is a button-up. It's got a scoop neck, and it's got nice puffy sleeves. And it is rather see-through, but like with most shirts like this, if you wear a nude bra, that's not really a problem. And yeah, I bought this shirt to go with another skirt that I thrifted before that, again, if you watched my vintage autumn lookbook, it was in that video. So I think this is a really good staple. And I bought this from Goodwill, but the tag says it was originally from Rue 21, in case you're interested. This next piece is this super awesome jacket. I saw it and it immediately made me think of Jackie Kennedy and the early 1960s and that sort of office lady style of nice early 60s clothes. It's got this great texture to it and so many colors in it. It's got lime green, forest green, royal blue, pink, magenta. It's so cool. I really don't have any other adjectives for it. I saw it and I just saw it was such a unique piece, and the possibilities were endless. I bought this at a local thrift store and it was just such a lucky find for me. I love finding unique pieces. Thrifting for me is a bit like treasure hunting. I feel I never really go thrifting with anything in mind because you never know what you're going to get. You could be getting anything. It's really fun. I find it way more fun than going to a conventional store like H&M or Forever 21 or things like that, even though, you know, it's not to say that I won't find things that I like there, because obviously I will, and sometimes I do if I'm going shopping with my family or with friends, but it's just, it's not as fun. You don't get the thrill of the experience. As the old adage says, the joy is in the journey. The joy is in going to the thrift store and not knowing what you'll find, what sort of treasures you'll get. I don't think I would find this in a normal store. So yeah, it doesn't have a tag, so I actually don't know if this is actually from the 60s or if it's a reproduction thing made in later decades, like maybe it is from the 80s, but it was made to look like it was from the 60s. Who knows? Now, to get into more recently attained items, these are two pieces of clothing that are also hand-me-downs. This is a dress of my mother's. If you saw my Barbie as Rapunzel, Constant as the Stars Above cover, I wore this dress in that. It is this really cute, long dress. It goes to your ankles. It's very simple. It's got a light lilac gingham print on it. It's very cute and loose. It does have a tie in the back to make it tighter, but I find that on me, because I don't have, you know, 4-pack abs, it does sort of cling to those lower belly areas that are unflattering for most women. So I like that it has the option to tie it a bit more loosely though, because I feel it's a lot more flattering that way. It's very cute, it's very loose. I think it's great for summertime. It was very hot that day that we were filming, and I was really glad I was wearing something like this so that I wouldn't get sunburnt, and also so that I was loose and free. This next item is actually a skirt that your girl gave to me. Yes, Julia, Artsy Musician 17, had this skirt, and she said to me, Rachel, I'm thinking about just getting rid of the skirt. I never wear it. Do you want it? And I was like, hell yeah. Because I'm not going to say no to a skirt as soon as I saw it too, because it just has such a distinct 90s feel to me. Now, I don't really like Friends, but it definitely reminds me of something that Rachel would wear, which is funny because, but especially because the cut of the skirt, I don't know if you can really tell, but the hem has sort of a wave to it, which I think is very 90s. It does hit just at the knees. I think it's really cute, and I can't wait to wear this more. Now to get into the items that I actually bought on Saturday. First up, I have this brown plaid mini skirt. Now, as you can see, the waistband is quite big, but that is actually because it is not worn at the waist. It is actually worn very low on the hips, which was strange for me because I don't ever wear anything that is low-waisted. My jeans are high-waisted. I wear skirts tucked in with shirts. No clothing that I own is low-waisted, except for now this. I actually find that I rather like it, even though low-waisted things are by their nature unflattering. I feel like when you wear it with a loose and puffier shirt tucked in, it is still flattering. I was a bit worried because of how short it looked, but when you pull it down onto your hip bones, it becomes a lot less short. I also love the schoolgirl vibes it has. I really want to get a light brown beret to wear with it. I think it would be really good for winter months to pair with high knee socks and high boots. But I am also looking forward to trying to think of some summer options I could wear with it. Next up is another button-up shirt. You know how I love my buttons-ups. This one is actually sleeveless, which I don't own any sleeveless button-ups, so that's a new one. Likewise with the pastel green shirt, I don't own a shirt in this color, which is pastel blue, so that is a good addition to my wardrobe. And what is the real kicker with this shirt is that it has a tie. So if you turn to the back of the shirt, it's got these two tie strings, and you pull them underneath the collar and tie them in the front of it, which I think is just darling. I've had so many collared shirts where I wish that I had a ribbon or something to tie underneath it, and normally it doesn't ever end up looking the way I want it to, but this is just perfect because it's built into the shirt, and it goes really cute with the previous plaid skirt shown from before. Another thing that goes really well with this shirt is the next item that I bought. This is a skirt that I am pretty sure is vintage from the 80s, but I got all of these last 4 items at the same thrift store, so I don't actually know. The brand name is called Intuitions, but according to my mother, this is a very, very staple 80s piece. It is made of a tweed, so it is definitely more of a wintry material. It feels like it's a wool tweed. It has pockets, which is amazing. It is rather long on me. I feel like it was either made for a much taller woman or that is just the style. I mean, I've tried on other 80s office wear skirts before, and they do tend to be very, very long. Not even with 40s fashion are things ever that long for me. Like when you try on skirts that are modeled after the 1940s and the 50s, the typical length is just below the knee, but this actually goes to my mid-calf. It is quite long, but I still think it is rather flattering. It is rather cute. The shape is interesting. It is almost like, it's almost shaped like a tulip, like with a kind of like a bell curve going down. But I love it. I can't wait to wear it. I want to see if I can sneak into wearing it somehow this summer, even in pushing 90-degree heat. But we'll see. I'll just wear it once at an inside place, maybe. But it is very cute. I'm very happy with this purchase. The creme de la creme, the most wonderful piece that I'm so happy with getting. This is a shirt dress, so it is completely buttoned up all the way down. Let me button top button so you can see a little better. This also has a rather low neckline, which is not very usual for me. I usually prefer the all the way buttoned up look. Yeah, just most of my clothing has higher necklines, but I absolutely adore this. It is very flattering. It doesn't show too much of my chest, and it is just so cute. It just strikes me as something that is just so 70s, so 80s, but it is very cute. It is really just the perfect length. It's not too long, not too short for this kind of dress. It is a bit loose on me, but I think that is just the style. Very cute. The tag says originally from Forever 21, but again, I bought this dress with the previous 3 items, the 2 skirts and the light blue shirt. Yeah, and this is the last item. I hope you enjoyed my very first thrift haul. It was very fun for me to do. I love fashion and I love talking about clothes, and I wonder why I didn't have a video like this before. I would love to do them more often. If you enjoyed this, please let me know. Recently my style is leaning very heavily towards the 1980s in some ways, in other ways not so much. I feel like my fashion is a big mismatch right now of like 80s and 90s fashion, but also with the more East Asian high femme styles of fashion from both Korea and Japan. But I feel like I used to wear a lot more of that high femme East Asian type of clothing when I was a bit younger. I think now I'm leaning more towards the 80s vintage, but I still very much like that kind of fashion, like the soft pink aesthetic sort of thing. I mean, I have a whole lookbook about it, but I mean, even that lookbook is kind of tinged with my own bits of fashion. It's not really pure Harajuku inspired or anything. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to have something that is purely this or purely that because all of my fashions are sort of mixed together. I think that's why with the few fashion videos I've made, I really struggle with coming up with titles for them because I don't really want to call something strictly, you know, 1940s vintage when it really isn't, you know. My style is picked from all sorts of different places and time. Not that I'm like a special snowflake or anything, it's just if someone is looking for something very particular, I don't want to call my video that because it isn't, you know, it's just me, Rachel Fashion. So that was a bit rambly, but I hope that you enjoyed it and that you have a nice day. Bye all! I did something a bit different with my makeup today. I actually used matte eyeshadows for once. I mean, I still did the glitter on the inner corners, but yeah, you can see.